Hello, welcome back to the Glassgirls Network with me, Jonathan. Today we've got a bit of a special guest, rolling back the years here, actually getting a player back on the channel. So thank you, Rosie AXTEN, for taking time out today to speak to me. I've known you for quite a while, Rosie, in regards to social media. I always had a feeling that you'd end up at Stourbridge one day, and obviously now you have been at Stourbridge. So thank you for coming on. How's your bank holiday been?
Yeah, it's been good, thank you. Didn't really do a lot, but today I woke up, I went for like a 10K run because I'm training for my half marathon now once the season's done. So I've got about a month, I think, until that. Yeah, it's June the 7th. So yeah, I'm just training for that. I've got to go for quite a lot of runs because I've done a half marathon in the past, the Birmingham one, Black Country one. So now I'm doing mine in Cheltenham. So yeah, I'm just focusing on I've got to do runs and yeah, I'll still go gym and stuff, but just obviously the runs are more important for me at the moment. Now that we've finished football, I can actually focus on going for longer runs, which I really enjoy. This morning's one was nice because I went round like a lake near my house. So yeah, it's really good to get back out there running again. How was your bank holiday?
Yeah, it was actually quite good, thank you. It was actually at Stourbridge on Sunday night, so that was quite exciting. There was a bit of a karaoke there. I think I got back home in the early hours of Monday morning, so
Ah,
that was
no,
exciting. Yeah, it's
not
not
for
something
me.
that we do often anymore, so it's nice that when we do it in style. So me, Andrew Wall, DG, people recognise from this channel. So we was all there having a nice end to the season, really. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. Speaking about end of the season, I believe there was a bit some sort of event, like a team event, last Thursday. Um, was it a meal or what was that all about?
Yeah, we decided to go for a meal in the end at Cozy Club in Birmingham. So it was nice for everyone to get back together after what has been an eventful season. But it's been a great season. I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, it was really nice for everyone to actually be able to attend, the coaches and everyone. But it's quite emotional in the end because obviously it's the last time as a team that we will all be together. And I think everyone, like in the team, we've just proved that we've stuck with each other till the end. And it's been a great team that nobody's given up and we've fight till the end. And yeah, it was just lovely to be with everyone again.
Yeah, I want to touch on that in a little bit more detail towards the end about like how loyal you were staying right to the end. So it'll be good to touch on that in a bit more detail later. I mentioned at the start of the show that obviously I followed you on Twitter when I think originally it was Peterborough you may have been at when I first come across you. But just to give people a bit of a background who may not know your previous clubs, just to touch on a few of the teams that you have been at and what your thoughts were at that time.
Well, I started at Leicester, so I was there from when I was about 8 or 9 up until I think it was 19. And we did eventually end up in the Championship. And then I also played in the Championship with Coventry United. And then I've played for Forest, Stoke, yeah, Peterborough, like you said. And yeah, and then Stourbridge, of course. So I've played in the Championship and then obviously Tier 3 with Stourbridge and Forest, Stoke. So yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you've had your fair share of like tier three teams there, which is great. What were your thoughts on tier three? Like how it's kind of progressed in those last 3 or 4 years because it seems to be a lot more competitive year after year, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the tier 3 now is actually like the Championship, for example, for the past few years when I was in the Championship. I think that would be the standard of tier 3 now because more and more players are dropping down to maybe enjoy their football or just obviously, yeah, because it's getting harder and harder each year. So I generally believe that the tier 3 now at the minute is like the Championship has been in previous years. So it's getting difficult for everyone to kind of decide where they want to be at, if they just want to enjoy their football or they want to challenge themselves and be in tier 3.
Yeah, 100%. It's massively improved. I don't think the whole pyramid has, but yeah, 100%. So when did you first kind of like come across Stourbridge? And so obviously Peterborough's, quite a distance away, and so is Leicester really. When did you kind of start looking at Stourbridge?
Well, we have played them in the past actually. I think when I was at Peterborough, we did play against Stourbridge, and they always had their names on the shirts and things in tier four, so that's always good. It's nice to have your name on your shirt. And then this season, I noticed a few players that I used to play with, like Sinead, China, players like that were at Stourbridge. So that was nice to see, and obviously I still kept in contact with them guys. And then when I knew they was kind of interested in me, it was a no-brainer for me because I wanted to. The fit goal for me was always to be in a tier four team, which was being promoted to tier three, where I always wanted to be. And then yeah, when I had the opportunity to come tier three, you've got to do what's best for you. And like I said, I wanted to get back to tier three, and I'm really grateful for Stourbridge to of giving me that opportunity where I feel like I have played some of my best football this year and I've really enjoyed my football again. It's just a shame it kind of ended up how it did, but I'm grateful for the people that I've met and the coaches and aid and things because I think it's been a great season, and just because we got relegated it doesn't like say anything. I think it's been a really great season and it was a good choice for me to be able to show that I can still perform up to my best in like tier three. So yeah, it was a really good opportunity, and when they was interested in me, I just had to go for it.
No, that's good to hear. And I didn't realise you played with China and Sinead before. So
Yeah.
what team was that then?
That was at Leicester, and then
Okay.
Sinead joined us at Peterborough for a bit. So yeah, I got reunited with her there. And then obviously I kept in contact with her and asked how Stourbridge was and things. And then yeah, I just decided when I knew they was interested, I thought it would be a great opportunity for me myself where I was at in my career. So
Yeah.
I just went for it and I was really, really enjoying it. And then unfortunately I did pick up an injury at the home pitch as it can be bobbly at times. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was really disappointing for me because I was in good rhythm. And then to get an injury, it's always annoying. I think I was out for quite a few games, but I always wanted to still show my support for the girls and be part of the team. So I still travelled and went to watch them all that time.
Yeah. It was the 15th of October that you signed for Stourbridge in regards to it being publicly announced. How did that like conversation go then? Was it just like a phone call between you and Aid? Was it just like done over the telephone? Did you meet up? How do these kind of signings kind of take place? How did it happen?
Yeah, well, like I said, I was in conversation with Sinead mainly, and I was just asking how that was, and I knew Aid was interested, so we had a few messages, and then yeah, it was a phone call where I knew they was interested, and went all the way it did. But they put the 7 days in. Yeah, I was obviously I knew about it, but I was quite shocked because I knew he was interested, but I never thought anything would have gone about it. Because obviously, yeah, I knew Sinead, so she might have mentioned it. But yeah, it just went from there really. We had a phone call, and then I just said what my goals were, and I wanted to be in tier three, but I've always trained hard, and I just wanted to get the best end of the season I could and prove that I could be in tier three kind.
It was certainly nice when that tweet went out. It was like a familiar name for myself, and I think when people start looking at your CV in regards to like the teams that you've been at, I think that was kind of a boost at the time as well. So
Yeah.
I think that kind of went down really well. I do. So yeah, it was always good to see you join. You mentioned about still playing at a good level, and what would you consider your best position on the pitch to be? Because we've seen you out wide, we've seen you as like a bit of a centre midfielder, like an attacking midfielder. We've seen you up front. Where do you kind of like to play?
Well, when I came to Stourbridge, in the team I was at before, I was playing in the middle, but I was going out wide or playing in the nine. But for me, mainly, I think either like number 10, because I like to obviously score as well as spraying passes, and I know the game quite well. But recently, I've been playing out wide, and I've been really enjoying that because I like to beat the fullback, and I've got really good crosses. So, and I won't just cross the ball; I'll look up and see where everyone is, and I'm good at pulling it back. So I don't know. I don't know. It's the middle or wing for me. Because sometimes I feel like when you're up front, especially in a team where you're not scoring many goals, if you don't get the ball as much, you're mainly out the game. So you've just got to work hard, press and stuff. So I feel like in the middle, it's more of a battle. Um, so yeah, at Stourbridge, I definitely think out wide or in the middle has suited me best. especially because I like winning the headers and stuff. So, and I'm quite strong. So yeah, definitely one of those two I do prefer and has suited me this year, especially towards the end being on the wing. Because that was my position mainly at my start of career at Leicester, when I went to Forest and things like that. I was always playing on the wing. So then when I got to playing in the middle, I think it was Peterborough. And ever since then, I did see myself as that obviously number 10 player, but I guess I'm quite versatile and can play anywhere attacking, to be honest. So yeah.
Just a little bit off topic now. It's always amazes me how much hard work women's football players put in throughout the day and throughout the week. Until you actually get to know women's football, you don't realise that a lot of them are still in full-time jobs or even full-time education, depending on their age. Can you kind of describe like a typical day for you in regards to maybe where you have to come to Stourbridge to train? So maybe on a Tuesday or a Thursday, kind of just describe how busy your day is.
Yeah, so I'm from Loughborough, but I tend to not choose close places like obviously Stourbridge, and work is even at Burton on Trent, if you've heard of that.
Mhm.
So
I was
that's
there the
probably
other day.
about, pardon?
I was there the other day watching a football game there.
Oh yeah, so that's about 40 minutes from my house. So Burton is actually closer to Stourbridge than Loughborough, so that's always a great help when I've been at work. But yeah, so I would probably leave mine at about 7 because I start work at 8. And then I work from 8 till 5. And then depending on the training times, because I think on Tuesday we used to meet at 7:25, so it was a bit of a wait around. I'd probably leave about 6ish because it was about an hour and 15. So I'd just have an hour to chill. But that I wouldn't bother to go home because me driving home to come back, it doesn't work. So I'd probably just still sit in the office. But and then on Thursdays it was the same, but we used to meet up later, so like 7:55. But I'd probably still aim to leave at the same time, and I'd just get to training early. Just sit in the car park and then kind of going because I had a bit of time to kill. But yeah, and then after training, I think on the Tuesday, yeah, it was about, I think I would get home about 10:30. And then on the Thursday, it would be about 11, obviously, because it was a bit later. So it is a long day, obviously, leaving at 7. And then, yeah, getting home at about 11 and then having to shower and then do the same the next day. But I would always turn up to training. I'm not one of those players who, because of the distance, would be like, can I train once a week? I would always want to play the most football that I can. So I'd always turn up twice a week. And then on the Sunday, my mum obviously was always watch me. So she would help out and drive on the Sunday. So that wasn't really a problem. And because of where I'm based, I don't think I really had an away day this year where I had to go on the bus, unfortunately, just because, for example, the Hull game, it was probably, I think that was only about an hour and 40 for me, but going to Stourbridge probably took from Loughborough about an hour and 20. So I'd rather just do the 20 minutes, for example, and go straight up instead of going down to come
Yeah,
up. So yeah, I didn't actually experience an away day on the bus, which was quite a shame. But yeah, logistically, it just worked out much better for me to go up there and then get back earlier and ready for work the next day. But yeah, I always turned up for training. So yeah.
it's a massive commitment, and it's only I don't think it gets spoken about enough the amount of distance that people have to cover, and even like your eating habits. You never kind of said about like your food. So do you get a chance to eat after work before you go to training, or do you tend to just eat in the car, or eat when you
Um,
get home late at night?
I don't really like eating late at night, but luckily enough, my mum still makes my lunches, so she would just make quite like a bit extra, so that obviously in that hour where I'm still in the office, because I work on my own, I could just kind of eat then, and then I'm ready for training. And to be honest, I just ate like a banana on the way home or something, so I wouldn't have a meal when I was back because I don't really need to, and I don't really like eating that time at night. So yeah, I just mainly had enough food to kind of, yeah, have enough
Yeah.
for before training and at lunchtime at work as well.
That's cool. Something that we spoke about quite a bit on this channel in the last couple of months was what was going on in the championship. It never really got spoken about through like official capacities as such, but with just 11 teams in the championship this year, this season, only one would go down, which would obviously make one of the leagues not have enough teams next season. So the fans
Mhm.
started to talk about if Portsmouth got relegated from the Championship, there would be a reprieve in Tier 3 North, which would be the 11th place team. So the 11th place would stay up. Is that anything that like the players and the coaches and management ever spoke about at all? Obviously, I appreciate you just wanted to do your own job and just stay up anyway. But something big like that, where you could stay up in Tier 3 by finishing 11th, that to me is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it did a little bit, but I wouldn't say it came up that much just because we were kind of focusing on our own, even when we knew kind of that it came out that we were relegated. We still wanted to fight as a team and get the best results and win as many as we were kind of as we could for saying, because you never know with women's football, for example, yeah, if Portsmouth were at the bottom, it would be someone else coming from another league, but because it was Sheffield, obviously it changed a lot because they would come into our league. Alternatively, obviously Portsmouth would go to the southern one. But it wasn't really spoken to as much. Like I said, we were just trying to focus on us and get some points on the board, to say the least. But yeah, especially at the moment, we never know. Especially with that derby game, we wanted to try and win that because obviously it was the last game. But also if we won that, you never know because of the talks with Hull and stuff.
Hmm.
We just never knew what their plans were. So there was always that we could stay up kind of thing. But unfortunately, on the day, things didn't go our way. But we still can say that we fight with a team. We've all stayed here till the end. And yeah, it was a nice end to the season, even if the result didn't go our way. It was nice to be with everyone. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah, there's a nice group photo as well that was shared on social media as well. So that was, yeah, it was nice to see. Absolutely, yeah. And you talk about the players battling on until the end. Aid remained professional right the way to the end as well. I did see a difference in Aid in the last 2 or 3 months. It looked like he was a bit more relaxed and he enjoyed himself a bit more on a match day. I don't know if you guys thought that or not, but from my point of view, it seemed like it was a bit more relaxed towards the end of the season. How did you guys kind of deal with it mentally over the last few weeks? Because it must have been hard for you, hadn't it?
Yeah, obviously it was hard, but I think as a team we just wanted to stick together and not let anyone down. We was playing for the team as well as ourselves. For yeah, so we wasn't just playing for ourselves, we was playing for that team. So we all wanted to stay together as one, and never give up and just prove that who we are as people, that we would just always fight and never give up. But I think the ones that stay till the end, we just prove who we are, and that we've actually played for the team.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it went a long way with the fans as well. I understand why a couple of players might have left if there was unhappy and there was like struggling mental health wise. I completely understand why
Yeah,
they want to leave. But on the flip side, you guys battling it out until the end. I think that got a lot of respect from a lot of the fans and players' parents as well. I think players' parents speak as well, and I think it was nice to see you all stay until that derby game because of course anything could have happened in that time. So. Totally agree with that. Yeah. How do you think Stourbridge can maybe progress in the future?
I think now that it's actually been confirmed, because I knew they wasn't sure if they was staying at the War Memorial Ground. So I think that ground is good. I just think obviously the pitch needs a bit more looking after, just because obviously the men play there on the Saturday most of the time, isn't it? Obviously they have midweek games, but we play there on the Sunday. It's got a nice stand and the bar's nice. It is a nice atmosphere, and I know a lot of the teams that I've played as says it is their kind of away favourite day. So it is a good ground. I just think the pitch, obviously, for example, my injury with the ankle was
Mm.
unfortunate just because of the bubbles in the pitch. So I think it just might need a bit more maintenance, or because it's always hard if a team plays on the Saturday and someone else is playing on the Sunday, especially
Yeah.
in weather where it's really muddy. It's very hard to kind of play on. But I know a lot of teams have said that in their team interview, but it's the same for both teams. And like I said, yeah, the injuries and things that have came about it. But I think a lot of the local girls obviously might stay at Stourbridge. It just depends. No one really knows kind of where they're going to end up or whatever. But or if people are staying. I know the majority might leave, but I think a couple might stay, local to Stourbridge.
Mhm.
But Yeah, I think it just needs to be a bit more maintained, but it's quite difficult with the money side of things as well. Because in tier three, obviously, there's a lot of full-time teams. There's a lot of people that are paying a lot of money to get the players in. And for teams like Stourbridge, it is very hard with the money side of it because they don't have a lot of money. So who knows kind of where they'll be up with money. For example, for next season, they may have less or whatever, so it'll be harder to kind of get players in, and I think it'll be kind of a fresh team. So it's just about starting fresh, um, and trying to get themselves back to where they want to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. I think in regards to the pitch, if you have a look on Facebook, from the men's team, you look at the fans from the men's team, they also share the same kind of frustrations in regards to the pitch. I totally get that. And yeah, I think it depends as well on what manager comes in to maybe what players might stay or this as well. So, it's very often the case where players don't move until they know what managers are going to be playing for, I find. So I think that's always a thing. So maybe when all the management moves have happened, then maybe we'll start seeing some players either stay or come and join. So it's an exciting time for a fan. Absolutely, I love kind of seeing or predicting who's going to go where. And yeah, this is just part of football, isn't it? We do it with the men's game, and why shouldn't we do it with the women's game as well?
Yeah.
What's the one positive you could take away from your time at Stourbridge?
I think having a manager like Aid, which you can have a laugh with, but actually be able to talk to him about anything, I think that's been a positive. And I think obviously with the team, I definitely think this season, especially that we have kind of been a team, and I generally think that we've never stopped fighting and we fight for each other. So I think mainly the fact that the coaching staff were amazing and obviously the team. So I definitely think there is a few positives, I definitely think so. And I have obviously enjoyed my football, so that's another positive, as well as being able to play in tier three. So now I know that I'm comfortable with that. So yeah, I definitely think there has been a lot of positives with that, and meeting a lot of the girls, which were just generally so nice, and being able to meet the coaching staff and all of the fans there. Because I know there's a special shout out for Ollie because he comes to all of our games with his mum and dad, and I know that that means a lot to him and he generally loves it. And he came and thanked us all after the Derby game, so that was we all appreciated his support this year. Yeah, so it was really nice to see.
Yeah, massive fan, Ollie. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and hopefully he continues to watch Stourbridge with his team for years to come. I'm sure he will be. So looking forward for yourself, are you just keeping your options open at this point?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my options open, see where I end up. Because I want to pick the team which is obviously the best for me in the future, and I generally till I stop playing, I want to stay at the same team and just yeah go from there. But obviously challenge myself and play the best football I can because obviously I've proved I can play comfortably in tier three. So I just want to continue so and yeah, just challenge myself and have keep as fit as I can and then get to the season and start the best I can and continue to do so at the right team and hopefully not have to travel that far. But if a team obviously comes in that's like that based, it's good to know that I've already done that distance and it wasn't so much as a problem. But if there's a closer team, it's always better. But like I said, I've always seemed to have chose somewhere that I've got to travel, so that's not an issue for me. But if it can be closer, it will just help out. With obviously having to work a full-time job and then playing football sometimes is a bit difficult. But the things that we do, obviously, for the game that we love. So yeah.
Mhm. So what kind of happens then? Do you just kind of like have a couple of weeks off, maybe have a holiday, and then come back and like like to a few trials? Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, I mean, I've had quite a lot of messages since I've put the post out, that obviously I left and I'm excited for a new challenge. So, I'll think about those options and then if there's any option to go and train with them, just prove what I can do. But yeah, I've got my obviously, like I mentioned, I've got the half marathon in June, so I'm just training hard for that at the moment. And then I'm going on holiday, so I should be obviously back. I think it's like mid-June. And I know quite a lot of teams don't actually train till like July time now, so I got plenty of time to, yeah, obviously decide. But yeah, I want to go for the option which is the best for me and kind of a long-term option until I stop playing really. So I'll have to see what kind of comes about that in the next few weeks. And yeah, like I said, just get the best option for me where I'm going to be playing the highest standard and the best that I can, as well as enjoying it, but for the right team that want the same thing. And have like great training sessions, because I think it's always good to have good training sessions so you can push yourself against players, obviously, that are experienced as well, in the
Mhm.
game as well.
Well, yeah, that kind of maybe overlaps with my last question, really, about what's your main focus for next year? Is it to be surrounded by good coaches and good training sessions to develop yourself?
Yeah, I think obviously I want to get at the fittest I can, which think I'm doing well at the moment, because obviously, yeah, I've got to train for the marathon, but I think the main focus now is to enjoy it, because I think you do play your best when you enjoy your football. And I know sometimes when things are difficult, you might not enjoy it as much as you can. But I think having good training sessions, which you can develop and obviously show how good you are in the sessions and stuff, as well as learning things with coaches which are really good, I think that'll be very important for myself next year. But I just think the main thing nowadays to do is to enjoy your football, because yeah, you do excel when you're enjoying it, I think, and to be able to feel part of a team, because I think this year, like with Stour, I definitely have. I know I came in a bit. I don't know what I'd call it, if it was mid or what. I don't really know. I think it was a bit before mid, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think definitely I have felt that I'm definitely part of the team, and everyone made me feel really welcomed from the minute I came in. And we always had a laugh, and I did enjoy it. So I think I don't regret ever leaving and moving to Stourbridge, because I think it's been positive for myself, definitely, because I have been playing my best and I've scored a few goals, and yeah, I've enjoyed it quite a lot, to be honest. So it's been good. So yeah, just the main thing I would say is get into the club which suits me best. But yeah, as well as enjoying it for sure.
That's great to hear, and thank you again for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. Absolutely. I'm sure you put on your socials a little while ago. Was it a GoFundMe page? Is that to do with the marathon? Was it? And is that still something that people can still donate to?
Yeah, so I've got the what's it called? The link in my bio on Instagram. So if anyone wants to donate, I'd massively appreciate that. I'm doing it for a charity called Molly's Gifts, which help children, young children with disabilities and things like that. So it would help them with the equipment and things like that. So yeah, it'd be great if anyone could donate. So I'm doing that on June the 7th in Cheltenham. So yeah, around the race course. So it'll be really nice scenery, and hopefully the weather's nice but not too hot that I'm gonna get like so tired. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, the link's in the bio, so it'd be great and massively appreciated if anyone wanted to read through or donate. Anything helps, so that would be great.
Yeah, lovely. Look, thank you very much for joining us. Really enjoyed chatting to you there, and I hope you have a fantastic holiday, a nice summer. And yeah, I'm sure I'll be following you at your next club, wherever that might be. I'll be keeping an eye out on your scores and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we tend to do. So yeah, looking forward to see where you end up. Thank you very much, Rosie, and we shall see you again soon.
Thank you very much for having me.